Gentleman's Edge, available at Beatus Footwear, at Bounty Supermarket on Water Street, Mattai's on Water Street, and other leading resellers countrywide. Smell elite, feel unstoppable with the Gentleman's Edge by SZZ.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day. This is your main newscast for today, Monday, September 29. And you are tuned to Kaieteur Radio.
First up, CISPRO Incorporated, the standalone Guyanese company that participated in the country's inaugural oil block auction launched in 2022, will be among four companies set to sign contracts in October with the government of Guyana. This was disclosed by Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Marat, during a recently aired interview on Starting Point, the Oil and Gas edition. Minister Barrett acknowledged that finalizing the production sharing agreements for the auction took some time, explaining that the government was tasked with updating and creating a new model PSA with improved terms when compared to the PSA governing ExxonMobil Guyana Limited's Stabroek Block operations. He said negotiations with the companies also added to the delays, as many of the companies are not in Guyana, so most of the time the consultations had to be done virtually, and this was based on their availability. Notably, the fiscal regime of the new PSA requires the payment of a 10% royalty and a 10% corporate tax. The cost recovery ceiling will be capped at 65% in a given year, while profits will be shared 50-50 between companies and the state. Next up, the Guyana Police Force has confirmed that several of its ranks stationed at the Chedijagan International Airport have been placed under close arrest while the Office of Professional Responsibility carries out its investigation for alleged extortion. According to reports, the officers were caught demanding money from a passenger in order to release her lawful items. In a statement issued on Sunday, the police said that CCTV footage and other evidence have corroborated the allegation. The statement further emphasized the force's zero-tolerance stance on corruption. To strengthen accountability and transparency, the government of Guyana has ordered that from today, all law enforcement officers operating at ports of entry, whether at airports or other border points, will be required to wear body cameras. The police stressed that any officer found guilty of extortion or bribery will face the full force of the law. The public is reminded that no payment of any kind is required to clear lawful items to the CJIA or any other port. And we now tell you that the Guyana Water Incorporated has announced that the prolonged dry season has severely impacted water supply across several hinterland communities, particularly in Region 1, where a number of surface water sources have been depleted. In a press release, GWI said the situation has forced adjustments to the pumping schedules to manage limited capacity. Residents of Santa Rosa have already been affected by changes to their water delivery schedule. GWI assures residents that these changes are temporary and are being carefully managed to sustain service while long-term solutions are being implemented. As part of its response, GWI highlighted an aggressive groundwater development program to reduce dependence on surface water. A new well has been completed in the Rincon area, while works are ongoing on another in Mora, along with 2 additional wells in the Santa Rosa Islands. These projects are expected to advance within the next month. Meanwhile, GWI also reported falling water levels in other key sources, including the Mabaruma Springs. The utility has urged residents to conserve water and share information widely within their communities to ensure preparedness. GWI remains committed to providing safe and reliable water service to hinterland residents and will continue to update the public as works progress. Next up, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips has hailed China's lasting friendship with Guyana across several sectors and pointed to opportunities for collaboration in the housing sector. Addressing a ceremony to commemorate the country's 76th anniversary Friday evening at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown, the Prime Minister outlined China's achievements, noting that it is among the countries that developing nations look to as they explore pathways to achieve national development objectives. He highlighted the Guyana-China relationship as a source of fruitful collaboration, cooperation, and understanding for more than 50 years. This relationship has proven especially valuable as Guyana enters a new chapter of unprecedented growth and opportunities. Phillips stressed that for this journey, Guyana not only seeks investors, but strategic partners who can bring vision, expertise, and a commitment to long-term collaboration. In this regard, China, renowned for its leadership in infrastructure, developing new technologies, and sustainable development, remains a valued partner. Looking to the future, Guyana sees promising avenues for collaboration. One particularly attractive investment opportunity lies in Guyana's housing sector. Guyana can significantly benefit from China's expertise in this sector by leveraging its extensive experience in large-scale, affordable housing construction and urban planning to comprehensively develop our infrastructure. Meanwhile, China's ambassador to Guyana, Yang, in her address highlighted her country's achievements over the years in infrastructure, innovation, technology, and other areas. The ambassador added that exchanges in technological innovation, culture, education, and training continue to deepen between Guyana and China as both countries maintain close coordination on international affairs. She further stated that the foundation for development is strengthening as China encourages its enterprises to invest in Guyana, supporting industrial upgrading and improving the living standards of the Guyanese people. Moving on, Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edgehill has stated that the repairs to the Parima airstrip in Upper Mazaruni, Region 7, are expected to be finished within the next 2 months. The approximately $400 million airstrip, which replaced the former grass patch landing area, was transformed into a durable, all-weather concrete strip to better support the movement of passengers, goods, and services. However, shortly after completion, surface defects were identified during the liability period, leading to a temporary closure. The contractor, International Import and Supplies, was instructed to correct the issues at their own expense. Residents had long faced challenges posed by adverse weather conditions, which made landing an aircraft on the grassy patch nearly impossible. But this will once again be a thing of the past. When reopened, the upgraded airstrip is expected to significantly boost connectivity and development for the Amerindian village of Parima. Meanwhile, the ministry is advancing similar works on other airstrips in Region 7, including Eteringbang, Caris Peru, and Esikiriri Bottom to enhance hinterland transport and accessibility. And we now tell you that a 23-year-old man Eric Kisun, is now dead, and two others, a 13-year-old student and a 28-year-old man, are injured after he crashed his motorcycle on Sunday afternoon into a bridge at number 69 Village, Quarantine, Berbice in Region 6. According to police, Kisun was speeding when he lost control of the bike while trying to negotiate a bend. As a result, he slammed into the bridge rail located on the eastern side of the public road. Kisun and both his pillion riders were rushed to the number 75 Village Hospital. He later succumbed while receiving treatment. The pillion riders remain hospitalized in serious condition. Investigators later learned that Kisun is an unlicensed rider, and he and pillion riders were not wearing any safety helmets at the time of the crash. Investigations are ongoing. We now tell you that a 40-year-old construction worker was stabbed to death during the early hours of Monday morning along the Good Fortune public road at West Bank, Demerara. Dead is Gladwin Daniels of Good Fortune. Police said that he was killed around 30 minutes after midnight by two men who called him out from a birthday party that was being held at the Good Fortune squatting area. After he went out to meet them, an argument ensued, and he was stabbed in the neck by one of the suspects. After being stabbed, Daniels collapsed to the ground and was later pronounced dead at the scene when EMTs arrived on board an ambulance. The two suspects were reportedly arrested and are in custody at the Lagrange police station as investigations continue into the incident. Police are investigating the alleged murder of Assis Joel, a 27-year-old male Guyanese Amerindian farmer of Marurunau village in the South Rupununi, which occurred at about 16 hours on September 26 in Region 9. Police have arrested the two suspects, Hebrew Simon and his brother Eloyd Simon, both farmers also of the village. Investigations revealed that the victim resided in a small wooden and concrete house with his common-law wife, Judith Simon, and their three children, aged 7, 4, and 2 years old. The two suspects are the brothers of Judith Simon. At about 8 hours on September 26, the two suspects visited their sister's home to celebrate her 2-year-old child's birthday. On arrival, the suspects and the victim began consuming local wine, carried under a fruit tree about 70 feet away from the victim's home. At about 16 hours, the wine was finished, and the victim's wife went where her husband was under the tree and walked him to their home. She told her two brothers to go home as the wine was finished. However, the brothers walked over to the victim's home and asked to borrow his motorcycle, but the victim refused to lend it to them. According to Judith Simon, her brothers and her husband started to argue, and a fight ensued, during which one of her brothers allegedly stabbed the victim with a kitchen knife, breaking off the knife handle in the process. The suspect dropped the knife in front of the house, and both brothers made good their escape. At about 18 hours on the said day, Eloyd Simon was arrested by members of the community policing group of the village and subsequently handed over to the police. A team of police officers also went to the home of Hebrew Simon and arrested him. 2 audio and video interviews were conducted with the two suspects, who both confessed to the alleged crime. Arrangements are now being made for the post-mortem examination to be done so that legal advice can be sought. Investigations are ongoing. And that was your main newscast for today, Monday, September 29. Do stay tuned to Kaieteur Radio.
And that's the news of the moment. Remember to get the full details of these stories, pick up a copy of the Kaieteur News. And don't forget, you can catch us on the MyTuner app as well as the Radio Garden app. You can also keep up to date by liking our Facebook page at Kaieteur Radio and subscribing to our YouTube channel, Kaieteur Radio Livestream. Oh, also catch our stream at www.kaieteurnewsonline.com/radio.